Today I'm going to take you through the entire process of canning strawberry jam. This is a classic strawberry jam. Instead of sugar, I'm using honey. You can use sugar too, but everything's blooming in the garden, and the first thing that we get ripe after our asparagus is strawberries. So I've got to pick my first bowl full of strawberries, and I am going to turn this into 4 to 5 half-pint jars of traditional strawberry jam. This is a strawberry jam canning recipe from Pomona's Pectin. So of course the first thing you're going to do is wash your strawberries really good and then remove the stems from them. Also, you'll want to remove any parts that might be bruised or damaged and get those removed. Then I'm putting all of the clean strawberries that have their tops removed into a blender. You can also use a food processor or a potato masher to get these to the consistency that you like. Our family likes everything to be pretty smooth, a little bit of chunks, but mostly smooth. So I am going to blend these up in my Ninja blender. But this is part of making jam that is just really relaxing and enjoyable. You've got to be able to slow down and enjoy the process. If you have a good book to listen to or a good podcast or some good music, you can put that on while you're preparing your strawberries. My strawberries are a little bit smaller because we grow them on our own, and our strawberry plants are older. So strawberry plants last for about 3 years, and then the strawberries are just really small, as you can see. So if you have newer strawberry plants, you'll get bigger strawberries. And of course, if you buy them at the store, you'll get bigger strawberries. So I blend these down, and you'll see that they blend down to about half as much in measurements as they did when they were whole. So I'm going to take this off the blender and then continue adding strawberries to it, because I need 4 cups of mushed strawberries or blended strawberries. So I'm just adding the rest of my fresh strawberries with their stems removed to my mixing bowl or blender bowl, and then I will reblend it to get to 4 cups. This is one of the most favorite jams. Strawberry jam is a classic traditional breakfast jam that is so good with sourdough bread, on pancakes, on waffles, on French toast, or even in desserts like cookies and fresh strawberry pie. So I do like to get mine smooth. You can leave it chunky, whatever texture you like. And once you're done with that, you are going to start preparing your calcium water and your pectin. Every box of Pomona's Pectin comes with 2 small packages in them. One is calcium powder and the other is pectin powder. And what you do is you get a half a cup of water, and you use a half a teaspoon, and you put a half a teaspoon of this calcium powder into the calcium water. You're not going to use all the calcium water, but you are going to save this in your refrigerator for the next time you make jam, because this calcium water in the cup will make several batches of jam. So it's a good idea to label your jar, and you just put your calcium water in there, give it a good stir, and before you use it every time, you'll give it a good stir again, because the calcium will settle at the bottom of your jar. Now I'm going to get my strawberry puree into a saucepan and get it boiling or heating it up. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of my calcium water to my strawberry puree. Make sure you get a full 2 teaspoons here. If you don't put enough in there, it won't gel correctly. So 2 full teaspoons in there. Don't leave any drops in your teaspoon. Give it a really good whisk with a whisk. You want it to mix thoroughly. And then we're going to bring this pot of strawberries to a boil. While that's heating up, we're going to mix our pectin powder. This is a citrus pectin powder, so you really don't need very much of it, with our honey. You can use up to 1 cup of honey. I'm using about 3/4 a cup of honey, and then 2 teaspoons of the pectin powder. Now, of course, just like the calcium powder, there's a lot more in this packet than you need for one batch. So just measure out your 2 teaspoons, then fold up this little pouch and put it back in your Pomona's Pectin box so that you can use it again next time. These boxes of Pomona Pectin will last several batches, so they're well worth the money, and it's natural, healthy, and a really great way to use pectin. So what you do is you whisk this pectin into your honey. You could also use maple syrup here, and you can also use sugar, or you can just use water if you're not wanting to add any sweetener. But honey's a good sweetener. It does have a stronger flavor, but I love natural sweeteners. So I'm just whisking this pectin powder into this honey until it's totally mixed in well. Then I am bringing the strawberry puree with the calcium water added to it to a boil. So you want it to get nice and hot. While that is heating up, I'm going to prepare my water bath. I am just using a really big pot instead of a big water bath canner because I have this already in my kitchen and I don't have to go out in the garage and get it. But you want to have enough water in there to cover your jars by at least 1 inch for the full time it's processing. It really only needs to process for 10 minutes plus 1 minute per 1,000 feet you are above sea level. So we're 2,500 feet above sea level here. Next, when your strawberries are boiling, you're going to whisk in very quickly and really good, whisk in that honey with pectin into your strawberry puree with the calcium water. And that, they work together. There's a chemical reaction between the citric pectin and the calcium water, and that is what's going to really thicken this up. And you can see as it boils, it's going to get thicker and thicker until it's a really nice thick consistency. It will even get thicker once it's cooled after it's done processing. But this recipe makes 4 to 5 cups of jam. So I've got 1/2 pint jars, which are each 1 cup each, and I'm going to fill those up. I did have a 1/5 cup of jam left over, but I'm putting that into a mason jar and keeping it in the refrigerator. We will eat that and enjoy that right away. So as you can see, as time goes by and as this is boiling, it is just getting thicker and thicker. You really only need to let it boil for 2 full minutes, but it needs to be a nice rolling boil for about 2 minutes. And you can see how thick this is getting. Okay, once your jam with everything in it has been boiling for a full 2 minutes, you can turn the heat off and get ready to fill your jars. So you should have nice clean jars that have been run through a dishwasher that are nice and clean and hot, and as well as new canning lids. And you'll want a funnel to get this jam into your jars without making a big mess on the rims, which can prevent it from sealing correctly. I'm also using a ladle. That's a very helpful tool. If you don't have a ladle, you'll be using a big spoon. So I do suggest a ladle if you can use one. If you have one, it's definitely much easier. So this ladle is putting about 1/3 cup at a time into these 1/2 pint mason jars, and you want to fill these jars to 1/4 of an inch from the top. So I am taking them all the way up to the second ring, the rings that screw the lid on. So I'm only leaving 1/4 of an inch open at the top of each jar. I'm doing this myself right now. If you have kids helping you, it'll probably be a little bit messier, but that's okay, because before we finish up and add our lids and our seals onto these jars, we're going to get a wet washcloth or a paper towel with a little bit of vinegar on there, and we're going to rub that around the top of the rim of each jar, and make sure it's completely cleaned off of any jam that might have gotten on there while you were filling your jars. And we do that just to make sure that they're completely clean. When you put your lids on top, the rubber on the lid has really good contact with the top glass rim of your jar so that you can get a good seal. if something happens and one of your jars does not seal, you don't need to worry about it. You can put it in your refrigerator and then just use it, or you can reprocess the jar, put it into another clean jar, make sure the rim is completely cleaned off, put a new lid on top, and reprocess that jar if you want to. The processing time for this recipe is very short. So because I'm at 2,500 square feet, my processing time is 13 minutes. If you're at 1,000 feet above sea level, your processing time is 10 minutes. So it's a super fast water bath processing time. If you don't have vinegar, you can just use a wet washcloth to clean the rims of your jar off. I just really like to use vinegar and make sure I get it really clean. And I don't like having to reprocess jars or having to put them in the refrigerator. I like to make jam and can something that's going to last for at least a year on my shelf. So I'm super careful with using vinegar and making sure that my rings are going to seal the first time I process them. After you get all your lids on, you're going to screw your bands on to finger tight. The jars are very hot at this point, so you can use a washcloth or a napkin or something to help you hold on to these jars. They are very hot right now, so they will burn your fingertips. I'm kind of struggling with these really hot jars, but what I'm going to do is get all my rings on. If you hold your lid down with one finger and then screw the band on, that helps you to not have to touch the hot jar. Okay, all these jars are ready to go into the water bath canner. I'm only canning 4 jars at a time, so there's definitely going to be extra room inside my water bath canner, or my big pot that I'm using as a water bath canner. So I do have a towel on the bottom, but I'm also going to put some extra jars in there that are just filled with water to be kind of like place savers, to help these jars stand upright in the water bath canner. You don't want them falling over while they're processing, or some of the jam can leak out onto the seal and then it doesn't seal correctly. So I'm using some washcloths in there, and I'm also just using some other empty mason jars that I'm filling with water. And then I'm just going to make sure that the water level in my water bath canner is an inch or 2 above all of the lids, so that it gets a good seal. If the water runs out, you have to add more water to it, but we're only processing for like 10 minutes, 10 to 13 minutes, so you don't have to worry about the water evaporating too much. I'm just showing you what the inside of my pot looks like. So I've got my lids, you can see down there, my empty jars, and some washcloths in there, just to help these 4 half-pint mason jars stay upright during the water bath process. You're going to want to bring the water up to a rolling boil. Once it's at a rolling boil, you can set your timer to however many minutes you need. It's 10 minutes, and then 1 minute for every 1,000 square feet you are above sea level. So that's 13 minutes for me. Let that process, and as soon as it's done, turn the heat off, remove the lid, and you can remove your jars onto a safe surface for a very hot jar. You do want to have a jar lifter. A jar lifter helps you grab those hot jars out of the boiling water and pull them safely out. I am setting mine onto a washcloth. That just helps absorb all the water that's coming off of these. You don't want to tip your jars when you're pulling them out. You want to pull them straight up. If you tip them, a little bit of the jam can seep between the seal and the jar, and that can cause your seal to fail. After you get your jars out, you're going to want to let these sit on your counter. Don't touch them, don't move them, don't take the rings off yet. Just let them cool off for about 24 hours. Then check your seals. As long as everything's sealed, you can remove the bands, which you want to do, and store them in your pantry for a year or 2. And I'm just showing you now the texture of this gorgeous strawberry jam. It's nice, it's thick, it's a little bit chunky, and it is delicious. I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and we'll see you next time.